All right, recording in progress. I love when everybody has their camera on when they join. That's such a good sign that everyone's in a good mood, you know?
Love it.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
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 And everyone is so good about, we start with it muted, right? So we're all there and then getting ready.
Oh, the Zoom
Great.
era. I love it. Miles is ready to go. Hello, Patty. Anne Marie's here. Hi. Elizabeth. I see WACNH. I'm guessing that's not your first name.
No, that's our organization. I gotta edit that.
Gotcha. Martha,
Right.
Ashley.
Points for people who know what that organization is. Anyone? I have to think about it.
I lose. I'm just going to call him Wench.
Oh, that's not nice.
No, that's what it said. All right.
We go with
Wow.
WAC and H, World Affairs Council of New Hampshire.
Gotcha. I love Heidi's background too. Look at that. That is very nice, Heidi. Okay, cool. Kathleen, are you going to kick us off?
Yeah, I'm going to kick us off. So thanks. Hi, I'm Kathleen Reardon. I think I know just about everyone, but the CEO at the New Hampshire Center for Nonprofits. And I just want to start this morning thanking you for your role in the live streaming event, which is going to be phenomenal, as is the whole New Hampshire Gives effort. So I hope everyone rests up over the weekend for an incredible 24 hours, June 8th and 9th. And I know that there's still things that you all are doing before then. But at any rate, it's going to be a wonderful day for New Hampshire. And I just want to thank you all for what you're doing to support the event that supports all of our nonprofits, as well as the work that you're undertaking in your communities. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Chris or Deborah.
I'm going to give everybody some insider information that's going to be released later today, but since you're here, you get to hear it early because I'm so excited about it. With all of the organizations that have entered matches into the GiveGab system so far for New Hampshire Gives, plus the site-wide matches and the Upper Valley matches, we are going to have more than $1 million in matching funds available for donors to try to match. So that means we have a $2 million day if all of the matches get met and nothing else. So we're very, very excited, and that'll be out in a press release that's coming out that you should be seeing soon, and it'll be on social media later today. So now I will give it over to Chris. He is a wonderful guy. I'll let him introduce himself.
Well, thank you, Kathleen and Deborah. You guys are fantastic. I apologize for getting just a little bit emotional there, even during just hearing that news. It is very, very humbling to be a part of NH Gives this year, and getting to meet all of you guys today. I really appreciate you taking the time to participate both this morning and in what we're doing next week. Also, quick shout out to anyone who's watching this on the replay. Sorry you're missing out on the live fun, but we're looking forward to having you in next week. So my name is Chris Strub. I am located here in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. This is the Fly the W studio here behind me. And I work year round as the Giving Day guy. So I work with Giving Days like NH Gives all around the US. This will be my 5th Giving Day of 2021. And in July, I'll be heading to Wyoming. And then in the fall, I'll be in San Antonio and Louisville. So I have the coolest job in the world. It's just so much fun to get a chance to work with wonderful folks like you who make the state a better place and make the world a better place. So this is what I've been doing since 2017, is helping organizations like the Center for Nonprofits create live streamed video that really helps create a big splash on social media during the Giving Day that's going to help us far exceed that 2020 total and then some. To do that, the most important element in what I do is each of you. And so again, I want to reiterate my gratitude to all of you for raising your hand to participate in what we're doing next Tuesday and Wednesday. If you want to check out some of my prior work, if you go to my website, it's givingdayguy.com. There's a lot of information on there about some of the previous giving days that I've worked with, also links to a lot of the other videos. And what we're going to be doing on Tuesday and Wednesday is going to look somewhat similar to what I've done in some of those other communities, of course, with the proper NH Gives color scheme that you can see behind Deborah there. So all of you guys should have received a, oh, and by the way, I know that this calendar invite said until 9:45, but we'll definitely be done by 9:30. And I'm also going to leave plenty of time for your questions. So if you do have questions, you can feel free to put them in the chat and we'll keep an eye on those, but I'll also leave time before we leave here to make sure you can unmute yourself and ask any questions that you might have, on video as well. So basically what we're doing next week, the live stream efforts are going to start with a big production done by NHPBS with the hosts that I think Deborah mentioned from the fancy studio. We'll have some of our celebrity drop-ins and stuff like that. And that will go until about 9:15 p.m. on Tuesday. Then I'm going to kind of grab the wheel and we'll have some live stream video that I'm producing from here up until midnight. And then the next morning we'll get started again and we'll be bringing you guys into those productions all throughout the day until about 2 o'clock. We've got a game show segment to play, which we recorded the other day with Steve Varnum and some nonprofit guests, and it was a lot of fun. And then we'll be back to the NHPBS studio at 3 p.m. until the day ends. Each hour is going to look pretty similar. Each hour has a live host, and those hosts are being finalized. I'm not sure if Deborah, we've indicated who each hour's host is going to be. Do they know who their host is going to be, Deborah?
Yes, everybody has, I believe, has been told who their host is.
Who their host is. Okay. So you're going to receive from me today a link to the Switcher Studio Green Room. Now that is essentially just a web browser link that allows you to click on it. You type in your name and you type in your name and you allow permissions to your camera and to your microphone. There's a little button on the screen that says remote camera mode. I'm actually going to bring this up here real quick. So just give me a second so I can show you what it looks like. I've done this with a screen share. It actually just works better like this if you want to look at my screen. It says Switcher Studio. It's going to ask you if you would like to give access to your microphone. There you go, spotlight in my video. I like that. So you're going to need to click allow. Then it's going to ask you if you want to give permission to your camera. And I click allow. Then I'm going to type in my name. I'm going to ask that you do type in your name there. I know I was joking with Tim at the start of the video, but make sure that you have your name the way that you'd like to be referred to in that description. Also, if you have preferred pronouns, you can put them in there as well so that the host will see that if you want to do that. There's a switch there that says remote camera mode. One mistake that I see often with Giving Day guests is they accidentally switch that on. And what that will do is it will really limit what you're able to see once you join the room. So you'll still be in the room, but you won't really be able to see everybody else and everything. So if you join the room and you're like, this isn't working right, you can always leave the room, come back, and make sure that you did not switch that on. When you click join room, you're going to see something that says waiting for others to join. This is if you're testing it. It's going to look kind of like that. I'm going to ask you to turn your device horizontally, and that's going to allow me to have your video fit our boxes correctly on the screen. If you want to test this either later today, sometime this weekend, or on Monday with a friend or a colleague or a family member, or you want to have one device over here and one device over there, You can see kind of what it's going to look like when other people join in. Basically, it'll just split the screen. And as more people join in, the screen will split and you'll just be able to talk to people. There are little buttons on the bottom of the screen. Again, I keep trying to focus my DSLR here, but you can see this will turn your camera around. This is your microphone. That means you're not muted. This is your camera. That means it's on if I want to turn the camera off. And that would turn the camera off. And the blue muted thing means, that means you're muted. When you join the room, you're not automatically, and Deborah, you can unpin me now if you want. When you join the room, you are not automatically on the live stream. I have to put you on the screen, and we will definitely be telling you when you are going to be live. I want you to think about joining on Tuesday or Wednesday as if you're literally walking into the green room, and then you will be prepped and be told, okay, like we're about to start. There'll probably be a little bit of music playing, so on and so forth. The host will start the hour with some introductory remarks. That person will also probably be announcing some prizes. Then we will introduce each of you, and some of you will be in more of a facilitated group discussion where everyone will be on the screen together. A few of the hours will be more straight interview style, where I think we're going to have the host just speak to you and then move on to the next person and move on to the next person. That should be indicated in the email that Deborah sent to you. Very important question came from, who did that come from? Somebody asked, so we need to join from a mobile device. The answer is no, you don't need to join from a mobile device, but you can. So any mobile device with a camera and a microphone. So you see, I use my iPhone, but an Android does work as well. You can use a tablet. You can use a laptop that has a webcam, as long as it has a microphone. So whatever device you've used to join the Zoom today is going to work just fine with Switcher Studio. If you have, the way I like to put it is, the newer and the more sophisticated a device you join with, the better you're going to look and probably sound. So let's say you typically use your computer to join Zooms or whatever, but you have, like me, a fancy iPhone. If you use your fancy iPhone, your video might look a little better than if you just use your webcam. What you will see when you join in as well is you may see that either your video or someone else's video may look a little blurry. That is a product of the way that Switcher Studio processes these guests in the green room. Your video will likely look a lot clearer to me in my system and to the stream that is actually going live, because that is where the bandwidth is focused, is on the actual output. So if you're looking on the screen and it starts to look a little blurry or whatever, you can always refresh and come back. And that may help clear it up for you a little bit. But it is likely, assuming you have a strong internet connection where you are, that your video looks clearer to me than it might look to you. So don't get too frazzled. I will tell you if your video is not good on my end, and we'll figure out a way to straighten that out. Deborah had indicated.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Do you have any advice for people who maybe don't have really good Wi-Fi? Do you recommend that people try to get a wired connection if they can?
Yeah, I mean, if you typically use a wired connection, to your computer, and that's how you join, for example, today on Zoom, then just use that. You don't need to be wireless. In fact, it's probably better if you are wired. But if it's any indication to you, I use all my stuff here wireless, even in my apartment, and it works pretty well. So if you don't have good internet connection where you are, my biggest recommendation would be see if you can go somewhere else that has good, strong enough internet to sustain a conversation, or it'll be a bit of a battle for the duration of our conversation. The other thing I wanted to mention was Deborah had said, please join 15 minutes before the hour. I don't think I need you quite that early. If you want to join in that early, I'm not going to stop you, but I would ask if you could join in up to 10 minutes before the hour, but no later than 5 minutes before the hour, that's all the time that I think we'll need to get you situated. So if you're on at 1 p.m., I'd like you to be there, between 12:50, but please no later than 12:55 so that we can get you in place, get you situated, and show you what's going on.
And the people from Tuesday night, because we're switching over a little bit after the hour from PBS, your schedule may be like 9:15 versus 9 o'clock. So I'll make sure that you know exactly when you're supposed to be on and just adjust that back 5 to 10 minutes.
I would like to mention real quick before we get into your questions that this portion of the live stream is sponsored by a company called Switcher Studio. I am wearing their t-shirt today. I work with Switcher Studio, and as I've mentioned, that's the platform that we use to create all of these streams. We're also using it to dual stream to Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. Switcher Studio also gives me the ability to crossfade, play sound effects, play music. You'll see how I'm able to reshuffle you guys on the screen throughout. We can do a lot of different things, play pre-recorded videos. So all of those different aspects of creating sort of a production are because of Switcher Studio. If your nonprofit is looking to get more involved with live streaming video, I have a discount code. It is GIVE30, and you can get started with 30 days of Switcher Studio, which is double the typical free trial for Switcher. I'm grateful to Switcher because they're the reason why I get to work with you guys. And so if you're intrigued by what we're doing, I'm sure that the Switcher team would love to chat with you as well. So I definitely want to leave some time for questions. Deborah, do we have any questions in the comments?
I don't see any yet, other than the question about mobile. So if you would prefer to unmute yourself and ask a question, feel free to do that, or you can put it in the chat. I just wanted to welcome Nick from Switcher Studios. He joined us on very short notice this morning.
Oh, he did. Hello, Nick.
So it's really nice to have you here, Nick, and thank you for sponsoring this.
Hey, Nick, while we have a minute, do you want to, and before we have any questions, do you just want to kind of reiterate what I mentioned about Switcher? Hopefully I did okay. I didn't even know you were here.
No, honestly, I'm just here enjoying the ride. Chris, I couldn't explain anything better than Chris has already, but we're just kind of like, it's been alluded to. I'm excited to be here. The folks from Switcher are excited to be a part of this. And really our main hope is that with Switcher, it can just help to make the whole Giving Day run as smoothly and as efficiently as possible. That's really our main hope and goal. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I couldn't add anything more to what you've already said, Chris.
Cool. Well, thank you again, Nick, for sponsoring. So if you see the Switcher logo on the video, like that'll be, you'll know who that is now that you heard from Nick. So I do see, Deborah, that we do have some questions. Do you want to kind of feed these?
Sure. Martha asked if we're going to be sharing a link so that they can promote the live stream with their supporters. I think you can answer that question.
I can. So we are finalizing just a couple last little tweaks, and I intend to pre-schedule the broadcasts, hopefully today. So we'll be able, when we send you the Switcher Studio green room link, hopefully I can also include the links to the actual videos. They'll be pre-scheduled on both Facebook and on YouTube. So whichever you prefer to send out would be fine. And they will be scheduled in chunks. So I will basically have a Tuesday night chunk. We'll have a Wednesday morning chunk and a Wednesday afternoon chunk. So there'll be 3 videos that include multiple hours each. So you would, if you're on in the middle of one of them, you would want to say, hey, tune in to this video at 1 p.m. when we're on, and et cetera, et cetera.
Great. Heidi asked, she said she saw the DSLR in your studio. Is that what you're using for your camera?
It is. So I use, I have a Lumix Panasonic G920, and I use a USB cable that is connected through a device called a cam link, which if I tried to show it to you, it would disconnect. but it is called a CamLink 4K. That device runs you about $100. But if you have a DSLR and you have a CamLink, you can use a DSLR, or actually technically this is a mirrorless camera, as your camera. And then you would just select, I presume if you have a DSLR, you probably have a microphone in your office as well. So then you would just select the microphone, like I'm using my fancy mic here. And you can join the Switcher Studio production using those elements. It's certainly not required, but you would technically need that cam or some sort of connector device to be able to use a mirrorless or a DSLR as your webcam. But if you do that, you can use it for anything. You can use it for Zoom. You can use it for, obviously, as you can see, that's what I'm doing now. So it's if you want to do it, great, but it's certainly not required.
Michelle has a question for me. When will the hosts get their introductory remarks and prize announcements? I'm working on those this weekend, Michelle, I promise. So I'm going to try to get those out to you Monday, and the prize announcements we'll be communicating to you. I just have to figure out how to get those to you. So like if the session starts on the hour and you're talking, I'm going to be picking the prize when you start talking. So I don't know, maybe we'll get like some cell phones and be able to get that to you. I don't know if, Chris, there's a way for you to communicate that to them while they're on.
Nothing more advanced than texting.
Okay, so we'll figure that out, but I'm planning on doing that this weekend. Tim asked, should we plan on using the New Hampshire Gives background, Switcher Studio?
Unfortunately, with Switcher, and I'm looking at Nick to see if or when this might be a possibility someday, but for now, you cannot use a virtual background with Switcher because it's simply a web browser connection that you're using to join the room. So what I do have for you though, and I'm going to put this in the chat for everybody. I do have a video that I created called How to Be a Great Virtual Guest. And that includes a lot of tips, and I'm putting it in the chat right now. Be a great virtual guest. Good thing I took typing class in high school. So that video, if you want to check that out, will give you some really great hints, just more general stuff on sort of how to make the most of your sound and how to make the most of your background, and even sort of like what questions will we probably be asked. So if you go to that YouTube video and you look in the description, you can actually click on the specific questions and it will jump right to the answer that I provide to all those kind of FAQs.
All right, Anne-Marie, did that answer your questions about the backgrounds? You'd put a question in there? You good? Okay. Tim asks, do we need to manage our own microphone? For example, do we need to mute ourselves when we're off screen, or is that something you'll handle, Chris?
So here's what I'll recommend for that. It's a great question. When you join in, like when we join in at 9:50 a.m. and, when we're talking sort of amongst ourselves, totally fine to have your mic hot. I can actually control the audio that goes to the stream. So if your audio and we're talking to each other in the green room, like we can still communicate without that audio going to the stream. So I have kind of master control over that. However, you can also mute your audio. And what we will probably do is when the stream actually begins, like when the host comes back on, at that point, I will ask you guys to mute yourselves. Even though your audio won't go to the stream, the host and I can still hear whatever noise is happening in your location. So when we are live, we'll just have the host have his or her mic on. And then once all the guests come on, I'll ask you to kind of unmute yourself. So that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it.
Yeah, these were all great questions. I got to say, it's a proud New Hampshire moment because I've been on one of these calls with Chris for another state, and they didn't ask questions nearly as great as you guys did. When will we have the link to the live stream to share with others? Chris is going to try to get those out within, today or Monday.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get that to you today or maybe tomorrow. I always work the weekend through a giving day. I know Deborah does too. So if I don't get it to you today, we'll probably get it to you tomorrow is probably the answer, but as soon as possible. I know that we're a little tight here, but we'll get it to you ASAP. Yeah, I don't see any more questions. I know someone was raising their hand before. Was that you, Tim?
Yeah, that was me. And actually, I do have one more question. If we do have issues getting into Switcher for any reason, who should we get in touch with? Is that you, Chris?
Yeah, so I will be in the green room with the host and all of the guests throughout the day. The best thing for you to do in terms of troubleshooting, I will tell you, like, one, please text me. Don't call me because that'll screw everything up. If you really can't get in, send me a text and I'll help you figure it out. But quite honestly, in terms of troubleshooting while we're there, all I can really do is reiterate kind of what we've talked about today, which is if you can't get in, you probably haven't given permission for your camera or your microphone. So you'll want to check your browser settings and make sure that if you're using Chrome, for example, that you've given Chrome access to those devices. If you can't do that and you're like frazzled, oh, I can't get in, my next best piece of advice would be grab your phone and we're going to have you join from your phone and you'll definitely see those prompts to give access right there. If you're having an issue when you do join in, quite frankly, you probably clicked that remote camera mode button and didn't realize it. So just click leave room and then you can refresh and come back in. The other thing, I'm glad I didn't forget to mention this either, Nick. When you're done, when the stream is over, I need you to make sure that you click the orange leave room button. It's not like Zoom where everything automatically ends, or I do not have sort of master permissions to boot you out of the room. So if when your stream ends, I need you to click leave room. And if you don't, we're going to have someone from the New Hampshire Gives Insider team give you a call and say, hey, can you jump back on your computer and please click leave room? Because there are a limited number of seats in Switcher Studio. It's not like Zoom where you have infinity seats, so to speak, and we need each of those seats to be available for the next group that's coming in.
And then, Chris, sorry,
Yes.
One more thing. Sorry, we do a lot of our own live streams, so just going through what we talk about with our people. Is there a preferred web browser to use? Is there a best one to use? Do they all work?
I mean, I think they all work. I use Chrome. Nick, do you have any thoughts on this? Any suggestions?
Yeah, I mean, most browsers work fine, but I would I know internally, like that's what we use Chrome primarily if possible. That seems to kind of just integrate the best.
Yeah, I would recommend Chrome as well. So yeah, Chrome is the way to go. Yeah, thank you guys. I know it's 9:31 and I promised you 9:30, although we have a couple more minutes. If you have more questions, I'm not in any hurry to get out of here. But you guys all look everybody looks sad at this exact moment, but I think everybody feels pretty confident. You can get like a thumbs up. Everybody feels pretty good. Okay, awesome. And Heidi also joked and said, can she hold me ransom for a donation to get us to leave the room? I'm kind of a softie when it comes to giving days. So maybe is probably the right answer. I really enjoy getting a chance to meet everyone and to hear more about your organizations. I really am just so grateful to each and every one of you guys for being a part of this. And just want to remind you that this day is designed to be fun. I know the last 15, 16 months have been awful in many ways. And I applaud each and every one of you guys for your perseverance and your hard work. It's really, really impressive what all of you guys are able to do in the light of all the challenging circumstances we've gone through. I know that's cliche, but we do this for you. I know that Deborah would echo that sentiment as well, is that we're creating all of this additional content and really trying to beat the drum for you guys to help each of you reach your goals as well. So if there's anything else that we can do for you, just let me know.
I would just like to say that you guys will all get an extremely thorough and well thought out email from Chris with all of the information that you need. He'll send you the link so that you can go and test out getting into Switcher Studio. It's incredible. I've seen it for other giving days, and he does a great job of making sure you have everything you need. So be looking for that. Chris, somebody asked if there's a discussion topic that seems to get really good responses from, really good engagement or viewership. Do you have any thoughts on that from other giving days?
I mean, I think people really love hearing, I love to hear these stories of, individuals who have been impacted by by your organization. That's really my favorite question, is tell me a story of a person whose life has been changed or even saved by what you do at blank organization. So that would be my recommendation to the hosts. If you're watching, is kind of focus on that micro level, zoom it down and let people here kind of tell that story. And I would encourage everyone here to be prepared to tell a story like that during your conversation as well. I really love the way that Deborah has structured these conversations. This will be a little bit different than what I've done in the past. Generally, we just kind of mishmash everybody together, and Deborah has sort of brilliantly grouped together organizations that have these similar themes. So I think it's going to be a different approach for NH Gives, and I think it's going to be different for the better. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So the other thing that I would really recommend, especially if you're in those group discussions, is don't be afraid to sort of play off of what each other are saying. There'll be a reason why we're putting everybody on screen together, is we love hearing that support of other organizations and knowing that, a single nonprofit can't solve all the world's problems on its own. So really having that interplay off of what someone else in the group is saying, I think also makes for some really great live stream content.
Perfect. I think that's the last of the questions. Thank you guys all for being here and for saying yes to my request.
Hey, Deborah, we're going to do one more thing. I'm going to ask everybody to unmute. Yeah. We're going to sign off here in a second, but we are going to pretend while we're recording here that we just broke the 2020 number, and we're going to record a little bit of video here that I can play. Hey, unless we break it during that PBS first 4 hours, Kathleen, that would be pretty cool. Then I'll have to send this. I'll have to send this to the PBS guys. Kathleen, I don't want to jinx anything, but maybe I'll put you on the spot here to kind of just like announce that we just crossed the record. We just broke the record. And I want to hear everyone here sort of react and just be so happy that this just happened. Can we do that?
Sure. Oh my goodness, we've just broke last year's record for giving.
Whoa! Awesome. Perfect. That'll make a lot more sense on Wednesday sometime, I promise. So I really appreciate all of you guys being here. I just encourage you to keep that happiest, I'm an English major, that happy, joyous spirit throughout the course of the day. Of course, we wish we could all be together, but Kathleen, anything else you wanted to say before?
No, I'm just, let's go and make this happen. Together we give. Thanks everyone. It's so exciting. We're happy to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. We'll be in touch via email, okay?
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.